Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going on a quest to find X. We're going to take all the mystery out of algebra and give you a super clear, simple guide to solving equations. You know that feeling when you're staring at an equation and it just feels like this secret code that everyone else seems to understand? Well, if you've ever felt that, you are definitely not alone. But what if I told you it's not a secret code? What if it's actually a puzzle? A perfectly balanced puzzle with a very clear goal. And the best part? Today, we're handing you the keys to solve it. All right, let's dive right in. To solve any of these puzzles, we have to start with the single most important rule in all of algebra. I mean, this is the idea that holds literally everything else together. So, what even is an equation? Well, at its heart, it's just a statement saying two things are perfectly equal. The easiest way to think about it is like a classic balanced scale. You know, where the left side and the right side have the exact same weight. And that brings us to the golden rule. If you want to keep that scale balanced, whatever you do to one side, you absolutely have to do the exact same thing to the other. You add 5 pounds to the left, you got to add 5 to the right. This is it. This is the rule that keeps the whole puzzle fair. So, okay, we've got a balanced puzzle and we have our golden rule. But what's the point of the game? What are we actually trying to do here? Our mission, our entire quest, is to get that variable, the letter X, all by itself on one side of the equal sign. We want to isolate it. We're clearing away everything else around it so it can finally tell us its secret value. So how do we clear that path? Well, we have to strategically undo all the other numbers and operations that are crowding our X. And to do that, we've got a special set of tools. And here they are, inverse operations. Just think of them as opposites. Things that cancel each other out. Addition undoes subtraction. Division undoes multiplication. These are the keys we're going to use to unlock the puzzle one piece at a time. All right, enough theory, right? Let's actually solve one of these puzzles. We're going to take our golden rule and our new tools and see how they work in the real world. Now, it turns out you can solve most equations using this super reliable 3-step process. First, you simplify everything. Then, you get all your X terms together, and finally, you use those inverse tools to get X all by itself. Let's work through this one together. 4x minus 15 equals 1. Okay, step 1, simplify. Well, it's already pretty simple, so we can jump right to our main goal, getting that 4x term alone. To do that, we've got to deal with that minus 15. So, to undo subtracting 15, what's the inverse? Adding 15. And because of our golden rule, we have to do it to both sides to keep things balanced. On the left, the minus 15 and plus 15 just, poof, disappear. On the right, 1 plus 15 is 16. So now we have 4x equals 16. We're so close. Right now, x is being multiplied by 4. To undo that, we use its inverse, division. We divide both sides by 4. And what are we left with? X equals 4. And just like that, puzzle solved. Okay, not too bad, right? That was a good warm-up. But what happens when the puzzles get a little trickier? What if our X shows up on both sides of the equation? Let's check out this new puzzle. The first thing you'll notice are those parentheses. So our first step is to simplify by clearing those out. We're going to use something called the distributive property, which is just a fancy way of saying we multiply the number on the outside by each thing on the inside. So let's do it. On the left, 2 times 10 is 20, and 2 times negative 2x is negative 4x. On the right, 4 times 2x is 8x, and 4 times 2 is 8. Great. Now that we've simplified, our next job is to get those x terms together. Here's a pro tip. It's usually easiest to get rid of the smaller one. So, to cancel out negative 4x, we'll add 4x to both sides. And hey, would you look at that? Our new equation is 20 equals 12x plus 8. This looks just like the first puzzle we solved. We totally know how to do this. We'll start isolating that 12x by moving the 8 over, so we subtract 8 from both sides. That leaves us with 12 equals 12x. We're in the home stretch now. The very last step is to divide both sides by the number next to x, which is 12, and that gives us our solution. 1 equals x. Quest complete. Okay, so why do we even go on this quest? Why are we finding x? You might be thinking, this is cool, but when am I ever going to use this? Well, it turns out you use this way of thinking all the time. And it's not just me saying this. The experts all agree. This fundamental skill is actually the bedrock for solving real-world problems in tons of different fields. I mean, seriously, think about it. anytime you know the final result of something, but you're missing one key piece of information, you're basically doing algebra. Figuring out travel time, your phone bill, even in construction and science, isolating that unknown variable is how we find real answers every single day. Now, like any new skill, practice is everything. And as you keep going on your algebra journey, it's really helpful to have a kind of sidekick, right? Something to help you check your work and make sure you're getting the steps right. There are some amazing online resources out there, like the Math Papa calculator our sources mentioned. And these tools are fantastic because they don't just give you the answer, they actually show you the step-by-step solution, which is an incredible way to see the logic and really build your confidence as you're learning. So here's the big takeaway. Solving for X isn't just about math. It's a really powerful way of thinking. It teaches you a logical, step-by-step process for finding a single unknown piece of information in any complex system. So the real question is, now that you know how to solve this puzzle, what other puzzles in your world can you now see a way to solve?